unmute. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. If you came here last week, JC started us off with about 15 minutes of breathing and meditation practice. And then I kind of gave you some stuff to think about when you were like in a more receptive space. So last week we talked about gratitude, and I just gave you some ideas about what you can think about and where you can be grateful for, regardless of where you are in life, because everyone's at different stages and everyone's being affected differently by the whole COVID situation. JC again today is going to lead you a little deeper into the meditation. So again, I'm just going to give you some food for thought, and then maybe we can make it a bit interactive and you guys can give your input on it as well. The thing that I'm going to talk about this week has been morning routines. Recently, I've been really trying to put a bit of focus into mine to make my day better, because I've found, for me personally anyway, if my morning starts bad, my day is just bad. I find it really difficult to recover from a bad start to the day. So I've tried to put in place a few things. And again, if we said last week, if you want to journal this or make notes as we're going along, then please feel free to. I'm just going to give you some stuff to take away and think about. If you'd like to meditate while I'm talking, if you want to sit there and take some deep breaths, close your eyes, you can do that as well and just listen. It's completely up to you. So I'm just going to talk about it a little bit, some stuff that I've been experimenting with and researching on that's really helped me in terms of my mornings. So to start with, and this is probably the major one for most people, is do not start the day with your phone. The problem with most of us is we wake up in the morning, we turn our alarm off, which often is our phone, and then we start checking. We start going through notifications, then we check our email, we check our social medias. And the problem with this is it puts you in a reactive state of mind. You start your day reacting to the needs and wants of other people, whether it be messages asking you to do things or be places, emails asking you for things, things that you see in the news or on social media. Instantly, your mind is in a state of, what do I need to do for other people, or my time for other people? So starting the day with the right intentions. And I think a big part of that is starting the day offline. So maybe don't use your phone as an alarm, or if you're going to use it, have the kind of self-discipline to switch it off, turn it so the screen is down and start. And then in terms of like what your day should start with, there's a really good book. I like to recommend books for people. It's really short and it's called Make Your Bed. And it's written by a Navy SEAL. And he talks about the idea that you see in the military where they always have to wake up and make their bed first thing in the morning. And then they come through and they do an inspection. And he spoke about how the big thing with that, especially for people who are struggling or have come from a rough background or undisciplined, is it's an initiation, and you start your day with a win. You start your day by ticking something off your list. So if you think about the to-do list of your day, the success of your day begins with a little bit of success. And it's a tiny thing. It's making your bed. It's not a big deal. But it also means that even if you did nothing else that day, you would come home at the end of the day to a made bed. So you would come home to the small victory that you started the day with. The next thing is to do something for yourself, and that could be reading, doing some stretching, doing some exercising, doing some meditating. It should be a little bit of me time. This is obviously a lot more difficult if you have kids, especially if you've got young ones who get up early. The only way I can say it, and I can't speak from experience because I don't have them yet, but try to involve them. So if it's reading time for you, maybe you're reading to the kid or reading with, stretching, exercising together, introducing them to things like meditation. It's a great way to start the day from a calmer place. And again, it's all about setting intention so that for the rest of the day, you're in a good frame of mind and you feel a bit more receptive to positive energy and all that good stuff. And then the last thing I'll talk on it is have a plan for the day. So use a part of your morning to plan out what the rest of the day is going to look like. And this again goes back to that idea of being responsive instead of being reactive. So rather than just letting yourself go through your day and seeing what it is, have a plan. And that plan might be that you're going to do nothing, and that's fine. That's a plan. But if your plan is I'm going to sit and watch TV all day, just have that set in your mind, because that way, if it is, for example, a relaxed day, you don't need to sit and watch TV feeling guilty about all the other stuff you could or should be doing, because you've set your intentions for that day to relax and spend time with the family, spend time with your partner, and do so. But at the same time, if your day is set to achieve your goals or approach something that you want to work on, then setting that up in the morning, it holds you accountable, because at the next day or the end of the day, you need to look at what you've written down in your journal, on your calendar, on your to-do list. You need to say whether or not you've accomplished it. So just to revise them again, if you're writing these down, you might want to go through, or if you're meditating on, don't start the day with your phone. Start the day with the right intentions. Be responsive instead of reactive. Start with something for yourself: reading, stretching, exercising, meditating, and finally have a plan for the day. Have something in mind for what you want to do and what you want to set up. And that's all I've got from it, from morning routines. So I don't know if anyone else here wanted to give their input on what helps them get their day started. We got like another 5 minutes, unless JC wanted the full 20 for meditations.
I could do the full 20, yes, but I reckon where would you put in snooze button here?
Snooze button, not allowed. No snooze button. 010001.
No snooze button.
Well, unless it's a day off and your plan is to stay in bed, then fine.
What if I make the snooze button my me time?
That's fine. That's a bit laying down meditation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Laying down yoga, whatever that position is called.
Anyone else, if you want to give any input, feel free to unmute yourselves, or just be entertained with our convo on it. Plan for the day. I always have my week quite well structured, and I usually do that plan for the day the night before. Any benefit or anything against that?
Most people actually say that's even better. So if you can do it the night before, apparently it helps with sleep. So if you can plan your day the night before, it kind of packs up that day and lets you get a better rest, because you know you're set up to start the day for tomorrow. So yeah, the night before or week before, I think it's just, if it's in the morning, then maybe it's just looking over your plan in the morning to kind of set intentions, get your mind in the right place for what's going to happen.
And then, I like the point about the me time involving kids and that as well, because that is, as soon as you started saying it, that is the tricky thing. When, especially the older the kids, the less dependent on you they are, as in they can feed themselves and they don't need to be watched over. But the younger child, you've got to obviously care and attention on them and actually dress them and feed them. So
I'm always sensitive whenever I raise anything like that, because I know I'm coming from a place of ignorance, that I haven't had any kids, so I don't know what it's like. But today I was reading this morning and I was thinking, if I did have a baby right now, how would I still get my morning reading in? And even if that meant I was reading something even a bit more simple for the kid, or I was simply reading what I'm reading in a very animated voice. So I was still reading what I wanted to read, but just animating it enough that it would be interesting to a baby that's just hearing noises. I don't know. I'm always trying to figure it out, because I know people struggle with it. Oh, yes, Annabelle getting involved. Yes, great tip. Great tip. Annabelle says, for anyone who's watching this back and can't see the chat, her tip is to read for a good 20 to 30 minutes before bed to help with sleep. And that's a big thing about not looking at screens before going to bed and letting yourself take a break from the blue light from your screens and then unwinding. I would add to that and say, try to read fiction in the evening. And if you're going to read something more stimulating, like a business book or personal development book, do that in the morning, because otherwise your brain starts churning a little bit.
What about switching to the evening conversation? What about watching films or such, like, series of the evening before bed?
I think that's all fine, but I think I try to not always succeed, but I always try to say that you should at least have 30 minutes without a screen before you plan to sleep. just because then your brain can start switching off and you can get used to it. It doesn't always happen. I've often had a screen in bed. I've often had a screen right up to falling and crashing asleep. But I found the best night's sleep is when I do take that time away from the screens beforehand. But watching films and that before, I'm absolutely fine.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Cool. Yeah, I enjoyed that. It's good, a little bit of knowledge there to take forward to the week, to the mornings.
Yeah, Annabelle also shared about putting night mode on your screen, which pulls the blue light out and puts an almost like orange tint on your screen. And you can do this on your phones as well. So it emits less blue light and it's a bit easier on the eyes. Good tip, Annabelle.
Perfect.
Gold star.
Right, is everyone, you ready as to go to a little bit of a deeper play?
Send me to the moon, dude. Send me to the moon.
Right, last week we did this the other way around. I led the session with a bit of breathing, relaxation, meditation, as you might call it. And I thought I'd end the session with this. And maybe this is something that you could do to aid that night's sleep, or even practice in the routine in the morning. So before we fully get underway, I'm just going to give you a minute to get comfy. Now, I mean that in a physical sense. So you're going to sit still, lay still, however you want to be right now for a good 15 minutes. So it's probably useful not to lay on your arm that's going to go numb or on a hard surface. So I'll just give you a couple of minutes just to move around and get yourself comfortable. And if this really does work for you, you might be here for a whole lot longer, and there's no problem with that. Now, also, I want you to take a couple of minutes just to get comfortable as best you can with yourself in your own skin. So for some people, this is a real difficult challenge, especially with head chatter and everything else. But just take your thought to that for a moment. So first of all, that external, comfort of sitting or laying. And then if it helps, close your eyes. You can keep your eyes closed or open for the entire, we'll call this practice. And just listen to yourself for a moment. Now, Az and I, we approach this somewhat from a martial art background. A lot of what I teach with the mind, body, and spirit comes from martial art experience, but also just from the journey of life. And on a weekly, daily basis, we teach people how to kick and punch for sport and life skills. But we can also teach different exercises like a breathing exercise. But like the kicking and punching, you have to practice it to get good at it. And you have to continue to practice it to maintain a level of expertise with it. So what I want us to practice now is just using our breath. Last week we went for quite a straightforward breathing exercise, breathing in, breathing out, just to make you more aware of your own breath. So this week we're going to take it more to a mode of relaxation. Now I woke myself quite early this morning, earlier than when the sun came up, and actually practiced this myself just to calm my mind before it ran off on all the daily tasks. So like the martial arts as well, you never know when it might come up and your practice needs action. So now let's really focus to the breath. You should be a bit more comfortable in body, if not mind, and just take your focus to your breath. If it permits you to, if you've not got a cold or blocked nose, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Last week we were doing this with a count. You just go whichever length, whichever feels a natural breath to you. On the inhale, as you breathe in, fill your lungs fully. And as you breathe out, exhale, let it all out. During this exercise, your mind wanders. Maybe you're ready for sleep. And just drift away. And don't fight it. Unless, of course, you got the dinner on or something to attend to. If you're still with us now, I'm going to start a count. Count from 10 to 1. With each number, we're going to count with the breath, and we're going to use it as an exercise to relax ourselves. So starting at 10, take a deep breath in. Really focus on the draw, on the inhale. As I say the number 10, start to breathe out with some control. Taking a deep breath in. And 9, breathe out. And as you breathe out, feel a relaxing, possible calming feeling come down across your body. 8, deep breath in. On each number, allow yourself to physically and mentally let go. 7, tell yourself, submit to being deeply relaxed. 6, in your mind's eye, or even through your parted lips, tell yourself, allow yourself to relax. Allow my voice, allow the numbers, and then the coordination with the breath. Just relax you further still. On each number now, start to double that heavy, sinking, relaxing feeling. Breathing in, 5, breathe in. 4, deeply, completely relax. 3, doubling that heavy, sinking, relaxing feel. 2, and 1. Again, deeply, and completely relax. Now we've taken our time to walk, to talk, to breathe ourselves down to a point of relaxation. So we're not going to suddenly come out of this. We're actually going to take a moment just to enjoy, just to explore this. I'm confident Zoom hasn't cut out. If it did, you're safe at your homes. But I'm confident it hasn't. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes now just to enjoy deep relaxation. Now, before we find our way out, let's just take a moment to remind ourselves that with this exercise, we can reach this place when we choose. May it be open in the morning, earlier than we need to get up, or struggling going to bed. When you're here, you might have seen colours, your eyes shut, may have had thoughts, may have had nothing at all. Just enjoy the quiet space. So now we do have to come out. It was the morning. You've got things to do. So I'm going to start a count. And this time, the count is going to be 1 to 10. It's going to slowly draw us out. As we draw out, take with us the calmness, somewhat stillness, and the light back to our state of being awake. So starting at 1, keep your eyes shut if you've had your eyes closed. Just take your focus back to your breathing. 2, focusing on breathing in through your nose, and if you can, out through your mouth. 3, just taking a longer, deeper draw of breath on each number. 4, and imagine filling your body with positive, calming light. 5, 6. Starting to be aware of where you are. This is Wisdom Wednesday. Might be in your bedroom, you might be in your lounge. Be aware of your surroundings, but eyes still shut. 7. Maybe just moving your fingers and toes and a bit of feeling back to your body. Reconnecting on 8. 9. Eyes are still shut, but you're now awake and aware of where you are, who you are, what you're doing. And on the next number, eyes open, somewhat wide awake. 10. Once you've practiced this, if you have taken yourself to a deep and calming place, take your time to collect yourself. Taking from what Az said, it'd be quite nice if you didn't have to go straight to doing something and just gave yourself a little bit more me time. You could go to read or practice breathing a bit longer. Enjoy it. And then we can continue the rest of your day or evening, wherever it may be. Got it, Az?
Yeah, nice one, Jay. Thanks for that.
Nice.
That was good.
Well, thank you to everyone for joining us, and we're going to keep this going. We've been doing this for a long time, actually, on and off in various meets and groups and everything else, and we just thought, you know what, it'd be nice to throw it out there to the Zoom world. I know I'm definitely needing it at the moment, Az.
Me too. Thank you, guys. This is open to everyone, by the way. So if you got like friends and family who you think would benefit or enjoy it, we're doing this as much for ourselves as we are for you guys. So please feel free to share it. And this is kind of the format. So if you enjoyed it today, you'll enjoy it next week.
Perfect. Cool. Well, goodbye,
Pleasure,
everyone.
guys. Lovely to see you all.
Bye.